We're here, I promise.
Just a second, y'all. We're having a little technical issue here.
I've heard of that. It's been one of them days.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, it's technically an issue.
It's not showing up on Facebook?
No, it's
Just
the
one
title
second.
screen. It'll be all good. It's all good. No one's in a giant hurry to see our handsome faces anyways.
All right, I think it's fixed now.
Ah,
Hey, there it is. Oh, jeez.
hey. Hey, guys. What's quack-a-lacking?
Oh, jeez. Bring the eyeball guy
Tonight's episode, we're going to talk dog toys.
back.
Hey, they're
Good night, everyone.
Uh-oh. Here, take the toy.
Jeez. Bring the eyeball guy back.
Yeah, where's the eyeball
You
guy?
don't like the duck? Let me show you the cow.
Get
Where's
that
the
duck
cow
out of here. Get that duck out of here.
You know what caused the glitch on the
Let me show you the cow.
you know what caused the glitch on the Facebook part?
No.
On our email address, Outlook, I forgot
Yeah.
to put the U in and it wouldn't accept it because of that.
What's look?
Oh man.
So you
Oh.
could say what was missing on Facebook? You.
You was missing on Facebook. So
But
bring the
you're-
eyeball. Where's the
you're-
eyeball?
How
Yeah.
come I went off?
Oh, John's getting glitchy now. Serves you right. Jeez. Did you do that on purpose, Shane? If you did, thanks.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well,
He was
Are you
driving
seeing
me
any
quackers.
of this?
jeez. Okay, that's enough.
Connecting. This is all caused by an unstable internet connection. It's close to your router. It's right there.
Is it storming?
Am I
Still
on? Or
raining up
is
your
it
way?
Shane? It's all.
It may be mine because we're getting pouring rain right now.
Yeah.
So
Okay, stop.
just bear with us, everybody.
It'll be all good.
What?
It'll be all good. Oh, well, maybe he's just resetting.
That was on him.
Okay, let's talk about John and Nancy. Well, they're not
While
here.
they're gone, this eyeball thing and quacker stuff has got to quit.
But
I'm putting it away.
I don't need you doing that right now. Good Lord.
Well, I'm putting it away.
Jeez, where's John?
You know, we
I'm not even that bad.
Anyways, it was
we have Emmeett, then we have John.
yeah. It was an interesting
Yeah, he
week.
gone.
Interesting week for collecting, I guess. We were expecting a Joe fan
back.
cast. There he is.
He back.
What was it? Was y'all on the whole time? All I seen was spinning.
Yeah, we were on.
Yeah, we were here.
I guess it was me then. I don't know what was going.
They definitely weren't making fun of you.
We definitely weren't.
We definitely weren't.
I heard because Nancy was watching it on her phone over there. I heard all kind of laughing.
It wasn't us.
No, it wasn't. It was Emmeett.
Well, he'll blame
What-
me again.
Okay, calm down.
Good.
Self-control, bud. There we
You
go.
going to the people?
Philip says maybe
The dog is chewing on the cords.
Yeah.
Check on
She's
the
going
desk.
crazy. Well, okay.
So it was an interesting week. Like I said, we had reportedly, we were expecting on G.I. Joe Day a fan cast from Hasbro, sorry. And it didn't happen. We did get some reveals, which I think almost universally, other than some whiny people here and there, I think that went really well. So we'll discuss that tonight.
Yeah.
I didn't get any pictures together of the new Superpowers wave from McFarlane. There, we got
There's a
that out of the way.
Brainiac ship.
But that is, I have steered clear of that line, and that's actually getting cooler and cooler all the time. So I will still manage to stay away from it because I'm still undecided about the Todd Father. So, anyways, let's do first things first. While John is glitching again.
I got it pulled up.
Oh, we got audio.
Yeah.
Hey, back again. Well, that looked like a really cheesy magic trick, didn't it? Watch this puppy disappear.
It
I don't know what's
What
going
do you
on. I
got?
don't know if it's my internet or what.
I don't know. Probably storms. Hey, Shane says he's got pictures of apparently something that's got some people riled up / disappointed / excited
/ mad.
/
Yeah, they're
something.
just typical. But we will check it out.
Yeah.
So this was released the same day that they released the images of the Joes coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a Ghostbusters guy, so if we got any Ghostbusters guys are looking and watching, to just let us know what this is all about. But from what I'm understanding, they've already got this Neutron wand. They've already made one of these. The only difference between the one they have and this one is the handle. It's a 1984 grip on it instead of the one they have before. But apparently it was an 84 Neutron one before, or Neutrona one, whatever it's called. John, you know more about Ghostbusters than I. So maybe you can tell us.
Neutrona
One.
I always thought it was neutrino, but that's not the way that's spelled.
No, that's new, like a neutron.
Yeah.
With an
Yeah.
A.
They've got a few more
Oh, I
pictures
know.
of different things on it here. I mean, it's from what I think, $149.99.
Oh,
I have one of those that was only 15.
does it come with a ghost?
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, your bank account.
Yeah, my balance died. Yeah. Wow.
it doesn't look very big to me. I don't know. It's got a lot of toggle switches and buttons and whatnot. I mean, does it do anything? I mean, I don't understand. It just looks like a normal little wandy thing to me. But apparently, they're up. Ghostbuster people are up in arms.
Really?
Yeah,
Stop it, Scully. You won't be on here anymore.
So they basically they released it with a corrected handle, and people are upset about that.
I reckon so. I don't. That's as far much as I know. I guess the end of it lights up when they mash the buttons or whatever, and it's the same they got before. It looks kind of tiny to me. I'll be honest with you.
I have one in my hand.
It looks not like that. You don't.
It does kind of look small, don't it?
It looks really small.
I think our his tank is bigger than it.
I think so. That looks really small, guys.
I'm not quite sure.
I thought those wands were at least 3 feet long, weren't they?
It don't look it to me. Let's see. I got a few more pictures here.
Well, it goes down in the side of the pack, and it's kind of as long as the pack is tall, right? It might be. I don't know. It looks bigger there with her holding it. Maybe that was a big guy.
Yeah.
But this is the packaging. It comes in.
Nice packaging.
Like I was hoping we'd have some guys on that knew something about this stuff, so they would talk about it or get with us on it. But
so, literally, the only thing that was changed is the handle, which is
the handle. It's what I read on a bunch of the threads and stuff.
Which is what, maybe a $10 part?
I mean, it's just this bottom handle right here.
Just about that screws. Oh, that's terrible. That's just a piece that screws on.
As far as I know, it's just that hand grip.
Wow. You know, that's a real shame because the Ghostbusters guys have been, man, they've done a lot of business with Hasbro over the last 2 years with that stuff.
Okay, so looking at this picture and this other picture we saw a while ago, it looks like the end here extends out.
Okay.
You see there? It looks like the end extends out, and it makes it longer because here it's not extended.
Oh, that's a good eye. Yeah, that's a real good eye because it's not. I wonder if that was all the way extended because it was only 4 inches, maybe.
Yeah, it was not very big.
Maybe was that 4 inches?
Maybe 4 or 5 inches at the most.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, that's got them all up in arms right now because they're talking about they just changed the grip on it. I don't know if it's the foregrip and the back grip, or just the back grip or foregrip, whatever. You know, it's just one of the two.
These people do understand they don't have to buy it, right?
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Nobody's forcing them to buy it. So, I mean, I
We all know how people are. I mean, if you look at it, just in the pictures, it's pretty cool. Yeah, little knobs and little twisties, and
so they changed the grip on it, and that's that's sort of like maybe repainting an action figure and re-releasing it.
Maybe so.
Well, sure. Yeah, exactly.
It is Hasbro.
Was there a huge price increase that you know of, or anything? Just
I think the other one was just a HasLab, to be honest, and I don't think it was very much higher than this.
Well, maybe that.
And
that's a whole other can of worms, isn't it? To release something with one minor change that was a HasLab.
And then
I think the Proton Pack was the HasLab, not.
Is that what it was?
No,
yeah,
I know the Proton Pack. Well, yeah.
Okay, well,
the one I think was the.
Yeah, that would be a whole other thing if this had been a HasLab and they made some cheesy change.
I think John's right. I think it was.
Okay.
All right.
One might have been a Pulse exclusive. Because I think they did a Ghost Trap too.
PG, Philip, PG.
Yeah, PG. Right. PG.
But it was funny. But I mean, you got. I'm looking at it, and you've got metal toggle switches. It looks like a metal twisty knob there for something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's looks quality made.
And made of plastic.
Got an old Holley regulator stuck on the front of it.
Yeah, I'm sure the housing was all plastic. But I mean, other than that, it looks pretty good.
I don't know, man.
Just put it in the cage.
For $150. That's kind of
yeah, but from what I've seen of it, all of that stuff is pretty pricey. But in this particular instance, I have to tell you where there's already one that's been released.
See if I can find the exact.
Maybe Ghostbusters guys should be happy it was re-released in any form. This isn't a figure. I mean, this isn't a crucial. This isn't like some of the stuff that's going on where. It's absolutely crucial you have this to finish a team or something. You know what I mean? It's a proton gun.
Right.
It's crucial for the costume.
Well, sure, but be thankful they reissued it. I mean, maybe that's all it is.
So the HasLab was it come with a trap, a detector, and a few other little gadgets they did. And then the other one was the Plasma Series Spengler's Neutrino wand. And it was $131.99. This one is $124.99. And
no trap, no PK, whatever it was, meter, no nothing.
Yeah, it's just a PK meter.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's funny. Everybody complained about it, but it's shown to be sold out.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. It's showing sold out right now.
That's typical, isn't it, guys?
Basically, the only changes I can see online is they put the 84 grips on the other wand. Is basically what it's showing.
So they're really, really mad over this, huh?
Yeah, some people were really upset about it. But like John said, it's sold out online.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've done a second HasLab with the Ghost Trap and the detector.
Yeah,
that must have just been recently.
This is the version I have.
Huh.
It's interesting.
So that's Ghostbuster thing. Thought we'd cover that for the week. We don't cover much Ghostbuster stuff. Don't really get a lot of Ghostbuster news, to be honest with you.
No, because it's all. I mean, it's really. It seems like it's high end, really adult collectors. I don't see much else going on with the Ghostbuster stuff, but it's cool that they're doing it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And the kids' toys of it are quite cheesy. I mean,
But-
I'm holding one right now.
Maybe.
You probably remember when Mattel had the rights. They tried to do a fundraiser for the Ecto 1 and 6-inch scale, but it didn't get enough backers.
No.
And I backed it because I thought it was cool. I liked it.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that's probably been 7-8 years ago.
Okay, so maybe crowdfunding hadn't really caught on yet. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it was after Castle Grayskull. Castle Grayskull was Castle Grayskull wasn't fundraiser. Castle Grayskull, no, or was it fundraiser? I can't remember. I think they just pre-sold it.
Huh. Okay.
I remember at Castle Grayskull, if you bought it, if you pre-ordered it, it was $300. If you remember, and if you had a subscription and you pre-ordered it, it was $300. If you didn't have a subscription and you pre-ordered it, it was $325. But then when it was actually released, it was $350. So the benefit of pre-ordering it was you got it at a discount.
And that was what, Club Eternia?
Yeah, it was. If you had a subscription to the Club Eternia, then you got the extra $25 off.
Cool.
Yeah, I looked for dimensions on here, but couldn't find anything on them.
Well, Emmett's got this
cheesy version,
this children's version, but
yeah, hold it in your hands. Let's see what it kind of looks like. So that's about what? How long do you think that is? 2 foot?
18 inches.
And that looks just
about
as
18
big as
inches
the other.
You're supposed to pull the trigger when it makes sounds, and it sounds like you're catching it.
Hey, go get my tape measure. I left it upstairs. How do you shut this thing off?
You actually can't unless you run the battery by pulling the trigger. You can hold it.
Go get my tape measure.
Hold the trigger.
That's kind of loud.
Yeah, I don't know. It's only about 18 inches. I'm guessing that's Slimer.
I guess so.
This is crazy. You pull the trigger and it doesn't shut off. Oh, it shouldn't be this difficult.
No, it shouldn't be. But yeah, that was just something I thought we'd talk about and how people were mad about it for the Ghostbuster fans.
That's crazy.
Corey said it. They got McFarland.
Oh, finally shut off. It is exactly 18. It is 18 and a half inches long.
That's become a verb now.
I guess so. So if I do the pose like the girl, ooh, look at me. Oh, I'll do it this way. Oh, look at me.
I think you better let the girl do it.
I think she did a little better job.
So I'm guessing that one. I can guarantee you, I'm considerably larger than that girl is.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm going to guess that one's about 2 feet.
I'm going to guess about 2 feet at the most.
Yeah. So, interesting. Do not pull the trigger. Put that thing away.
Yeah, he's going to pull the trigger.
Jeez. Huh. Interesting. Well,
I do like that. I think that's a new phrase when you get, when you get messed over by the toy company. It's going to, so you got McFarland on that.
You got McFarland, that's right. Yeah, that boy, it's accurate. It's accurate too. It's accurate.
Yeah, it's very accurate. Very accurate.
Yeah, because I'm still not over it. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but I'm still not over it.
It's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, they released. They announced a couple of figures this past week too. So I guess we'll talk about the company, but we're not going to talk about that particular wave that shall not be named.
That was the superpowers.
Yeah, superpower stuff that wave looks really cool.
Yeah.
The 2 different Brainiacs, the Golden Age and the Silver Age Brainiacs, the 2 different ships. It's just they look great. The manga Batman, I don't quite understand that, but
whatever. It looked like a regular Batman to me.
Yeah, but he's just got muted colors. It's like a bluish gray, and it's just didn't get that one, but there was a lot of stuff in that wave that was very cool. So
It was
I
cool.
guess Emmett's moving in here.
All right, ready for this next thing here?
Yeah. Okay.
First up,
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
good old Doc.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
What do you think?
I like it.
I got mixed feelings.
I know people are really, really, really having fits over the sleeves. I can give you my impression of that.
I like it.
I honestly think they were trying to make an effort to make Doc younger. Does that make any sense? If you look at the, I got the 25th Doc right here,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got his sleeves up halfway to the elbow, which I guess that's really the big difference between the two. He kind of looks more buttoned down. Oh, I get older. Seriously, I mean, I think they were just trying to make Doc look younger. That's kind of my guess. It's either that or they just reusing sleeves, just reusing arms. But looking at this 25th Doc and that one, there's some pretty big differences.
Oh yeah.
Where are you at with it, John?
My thing's a stretcher. I mean, I know that it folds where it fits on his back, but it kind of. I just don't know if I like that because of the big gap in the middle and all. It just.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just don't seem right.
I think it's meant.
As far as the figure goes, I mean, the sleeves. I ain't got no problem with the sleeves. I mean, it's,
right.
They're rolled up a little higher than the. I mean, even the vintage one was rolled up about like the 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
But the looks like the harness and all comes off, and he probably looks like the normal Doc underneath it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm guessing. So it's just a stretcher. It just don't feel right to me. I don't know. When I get it in hand, it may be a different story.
Well, yeah. Somebody, Emmeett just mentioned it, but I heard the other day somebody had speculated that was done so that it would fit in the package. I don't know if that's.
I agree with that statement.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have probably stuck it in there and counted it as a deluxe and charged you $35 for it.
Right. So we got a flare gun, right? From the looks of it, there's a flare gun there, which is now, basically a Marine flare gun, orange. Mm-hmm. What's the scoop with the black pistol? It's got the square peg right smack in the middle of it so that it fits on the backpack, I see.
I think it's a taser.
Is that what that is?
I think it's a taser. I don't think it's a gun.
Okay.
It does look more like a taser.
I may be wrong, but I think it's a taser.
Okay. That would
I think the square peg in the middle is a cartridge load for it or something,
I hope so, because that looks like the early classified guns that just had the big, the big holes in them to fit on the backpacks.
Unless it's supposed to be like I don't know where you can inject medicine like through
an inoculation gun.
Yeah, like an inoculation gun.
I don't know. I'd be curious to see it, and I'm very happy with the figure overall. I am.
I like the figure because obviously you're going to be able to take the gear off.
Right.
You can take it off. My only thing is the helmet. I'm just not feeling that helmet.
Yeah, it looks
kind of close to the original.
It doesn't. The goggles. If the goggles, I don't know if they're goggles or just the back of the helmet, but to me, if they're goggles, no. Yeah, the goggles can go. Everything else is cool.
As far as the chin strap goes, it could go too.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
I don't like that chin strap. And the stretcher, my only issue with that stretcher is
the weird gap.
It bends in the middle. You know, that is dropping the patient to the ground.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Bed's inward. Yeah. He's probably fall right through.
And of course,
and I also hope that it connects to the dragonfly some way.
That's it. That was the other big, huge question mark about it is does it connect to the skids on the dragonfly?
If it
connects, you notice,
I'm good with it.
Yes.
Yeah. You notice on the top the 2 peg holes, and then right there where it's in the middle, looks like 2 peg holes.
Yeah, on the bottom.
I wonder if that's where it'll fit on the dragonfly.
It looks like it folds into itself and locks.
Yeah, that's what it does. Those holes on the top fold in.
Okay.
You see the 2 pegs on the bottom, they lock together, like Dave said.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like to me. But
I agree because they did say the stretcher would connect into his back.
So this is a digital render, correct? This is not
a digital render. This is not a finished product.
So
there's going to be changes, you know, but I'm sure we'll still get the sleeves rolled up, which I don't have a problem with.
I don't either.
I don't have a problem with the web gear at all. Because honestly,
it's more realistic than just a sling and a pouch.
Exactly. Him running into battle to, you know, take attention to people, medical attention. He's going to need that. Because you don't want your doc taking a slug to the chest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's going to have a plate carrier. And, you know, geez, these guys are running around with so much more now. Geez, half of them got IV setups and they got quick clot, all the modern bandages and everything else. It's
I don't have a problem with it at all.
I don't either. My
only issue is really the helmet. And the only reason I say that is because if those are goggles, they don't need to be there.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
The chin strap could obviously go.
So has he got gray on the temples? It looks like he might, right?
It looks like he has some, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's Doc, right? I mean, he was an older character.
He does
for sure.
It does look like he's got some gray, yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool. You, Doc. And his face does look older.
Yeah. So he would be.
Oh yeah, he's an older guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
I suspect eventually we'll get his niece, the other.
That would be cool. Yeah.
And so obviously they wanted to make him look older because, you know, if he's gonna have a niece, it's of course it ain't uncommon for people to have nieces and nephews the same age as they are, you know.
Well, I've got one that's older, so.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm going to say now that it's zoomed in, it's the back of the helmet.
Yeah. And you can see the pill bottles better.
It is the back of the helmet. Maybe that comes out though. Maybe. I thought it was goggles, but that's definitely a liner, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I don't get the thing in the front right there though. What is that?
That's
that
right there.
Bracket for your. Yeah, that's for your bracket for your headgear, your night vision goggles.
Does he come with night vision goggles?
No, it's the same helmet that they used with Tunnel Rat, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got the
and rock and roll.
Yeah, and rock and roll. Yep.
That's
I'm thinking that's a taser.
That's
the trigger's inside the square.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it could be a defib, handheld defib.
I wonder if the pill bottles. I wonder if the pill bottles will come out of the helmet.
Oh boy, I don't know.
Because they look like they might.
It looks like they might.
But again, this is only a digital render, so
yeah, exactly.
But I like the touches with the pen and the flashlight.
Yeah, very cool.
Yes, I mean those are really good touches. And the flare, you see the flare pocket.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this figure.
Me too. I like this one really good.
He's got to have the pen so he can scribble out the prescription where you can't read it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right.
See, that's what people don't understand. Pharmacists go to school for a long time. It only takes them 1 semester to learn the medicine. It takes them the other 4 years or whatever to decipher doctor's handwriting.
Or exactly. Yeah, they got to take hieroglyphics and Sanskrit and Greek and Latin and. Well, okay, guys, somebody is gonna one of you guys have got to enlighten me. Why are so many guys throwing a conniption fit over this figure? I think she looks great.
I like it. I like the figure.
I think she was fantastic.
Too realistic.
Have you guys seen the complaints on this? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Too realistic.
I don't either. I definitely, that was the main thing. I wanted an unmasked head to go with her.
Me too.
I wanted that. And they're going to put her on a retro card with the sleeves later on.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but I don't see the problem with this figure. I like her very much.
I love it. I love this figure.
I'm not, I'm not that thrilled with the tattoos, but it depends on what it is, I guess. I mean, you can't really tell what it is. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure she did have a dragon tattoo, didn't she?
She may have. If that's what that is, yeah. I mean,
The girl with the dragon tattoo?
My only thing about the tattoos is they're just trying to stay more modern. Add modern touches to the OG figures from the back of the day. That's my only thing. And I don't mind them because they're just there. But I do love the fact that we got an unmasked head, a masked head, and then a blindfold.
Yeah.
I like this figure very much.
I really like it.
I do too.
I think the sculpt is nice. I like it very much.
I do too. I really do.
And of course, guys,
and that's the other extra hands. That's something I really like about that.
We have no information on release date on any of these, so just keep that in mind. And these are, again, digital renders. But I like this figure very much.
All right. So Corey says, I just now caught this one. Doc's vest got to go. Why, Corey? Why do you think the vest has got to go? It's a good question.
Oh, I'm if it comes off, I'm taking mine off to make it look OG for sure.
Yeah, that should be the only reason. Yeah,
I mean that'd be the only reason.
Yeah,
I agree with that comment.
Technically, like I was saying earlier, you want your Doc to be vested up, man. Because he's running out in the line of fire.
If I'm all perforated, laying there waiting for a medic to come help me, I want him to have more than a man purse with him.
Exactly.
I guess that's just me. If I played
bullet sponge that day, I don't mind it at all. But I'm just like I said, I'm just probably going to take mine off to make it look OG. But
I get that.
As far as the vest goes, I don't mind it at all.
All right, so we love this figure.
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely love it. I absolutely love it myself.
Yeah, I say nothing wrong with it.
For a glitch.
Talk about McFarland.
Two of my picks. I got two already.
So they only count as one because they're together.
Yeah, right. This has got to be the 2-pack that's quote unquote not army builders, right?
Right.
Yep.
So
I like
them. I won't go out right first and say I like them. I'm at first the Tiger Force stuff. I bought it just because I'm a completist, but I actually love the roadblock, and the tripwire looks great too.
I love that they finally gave roadblock his M2.
Exactly. I love that, and the backpack. I don't know if you guys have caught Roadblock's black backpack yet, but what does she say there?
Yeah, that's funny.
Chef.
That's cool.
It says chef. It says chef.
It says chef.
You G.I. Joe guys, you real G.I. Joe guys know what he was.
All right.
Now, when they actually go into production, somebody would probably put an I in it and make him a chief. Well, they must have misspelled this. It's got to have I in it.
Now you got to admit the new face sculpt. I like what they did to make sure that people aren't just popping their heads off. They gave him some camouflage on the face.
Oh yeah.
So you're not going to just be using that.
I am wondering how easy that will come off.
My guest list included a retro roadblock. So
right.
This kind of counts.
But you can just use a little alcohol and take the face paint off of Dusty and Flint.
Yeah, probably the tattoos too.
Probably so.
Yeah, I haven't tried, but
and tripwire is definitely brown. Do you remember it was kind of a dark brown or like a maroonish brown?
Yeah.
No rat though. No rat this time.
I'm glad, man.
I thought you didn't like the rat.
I don't get the rat. I don't get the bomb sniffing rat. I don't get that.
Bomb sniffing rat. I mean,
I
really.
don't get it. I just don't get it. Because all that's going to end up happening is Cobra's going to recruit a bunch of bomb planting cats, and that pretty well takes care of that.
Then we're going to be in the litter.
Man, I mean, what's the lifespan of a rat? 2 or 3 weeks? I mean,
yeah.
I think it was at least a year.
Not bomb sniffing
ones. Out some bombs.
Maybe 3 days.
I don't know.
And another thing I like is the interchangeable handle for his for a robot's gun.
Right, you got the paddle or you got the pistol grip. It's very cool. Yep.
Really cool. I like these two also. They're not my favorites, but I like them.
Well, like John said, that's why they were on his list, because this was low-hanging fruit. I mean, we all knew this.
Oh, yeah, we knew they were coming.
Yeah, so.
Hey, I put a lot of thought in picking those two.
Yeah. Sure you did. Gotta get my points in. All right. Yes.
Yes, but there's something weird.
I can see it too.
I don't know. I like the figure very much, but there's something weird.
That head? The futuristic head?
Well, that's just weird. But the one with the visor, it's like you can see, if you zoom in on the face, it's like it doesn't really cover his eyes completely. You see what I'm saying there?
I'm talking about here.
Yeah, it needed to be just a little bit bigger.
Yeah. I got you now on that.
You see what I mean? It kind of looks like they're one size too small.
Yeah.
But again, to be fair, these are computer renders, so maybe that was
exactly.
just a quick click that wasn't right.
And
what the lizard head is there, I got no idea.
I'm not a fan of that alternate head at all.
I'll bet you money that in the Intergun verse, you'll see the night creepers with that head.
Yeah, they're aliens.
I'll bet you money that's why they include that.
Yeah.
There'll be an updated version of them in the comics, and it'll have that head.
So the swords are new, right?
Well, the sword on the right, is new, but it's his old swords. They're both his old swords.
Okay. The compound bow, we've already seen that, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about these hands.
Yeah, that's the same Storm Shadow hands with his shuriken and yeah. But I like it. I think they'll look great with ninjas.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
and blue ninjas for that matter.
Exactly.
I like it very much.
The only thing, like I said, the head is just not for me.
But I think John's right. That has something to do with Cobra La / something Energon universe.
Did you just drop a spoiler?
The what now?
I said, you just dropped a spoiler.
No, I did not.
Hopefully everyone's read Cobra Commander #1 by now.
They have. If they haven't, they ain't real fans, so just give me a break.
If you haven't, let me just tell you, you're going to see a lot of Cobra La.
Oh, nice job there, Shane, dropping that spoiler like that.
I'm good with it. I'm going to tell you, if they have not read it by now, it's been out, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
You're not a true fan. You might
you're a poser.
Sell your G.I. Joes to somebody else and just move along.
Well, actually, you should just give them to us, and then you can
because we're real fans.
Out of shame, you should just give them to somebody deserving like us.
Hang your heads and walk away.
And get lost. That's right.
Beat it, Poozas.
That's right. Go watch the movie and then come back. I like it. I like it. I like it.
John?
I like it. I love it. I think it's great.
I want some more of it.
I done told Jonathan down at the Wolf Den, I said, if you can get 2 or 3 cases of those, they're army builders. I said, you better get them.
Exactly.
They will sell like hotcakes.
Oh, that Gano, yeah. Yep, for sure.
I'll let you guys talk about him first.
I don't know. I want to talk about the monkey with an eye patch.
I hate the monkey.
I know. Well, we got a peg leg parrot. Now we got a monkey with an iPad. A wolf that likes to go get dye jobs, apparently. A bomb sniffing rat. an eagle, which was kind of normal, and a good boy faced Rottweiler. Now we've got a Wookiee with an eye patch and a literal warthog.
With a nose ring.
With a nose ring, yes. Which would that would be a fun deal, wouldn't it? I have to be honest with you, Naugahyde came along, OG Naugahyde, after I was done. So did Night Creepers for that matter, but
give him a minute, he's thinking.
Cool figure. I can't say for sure about the character, but it's a cool figure. I like the figure.
Yeah, you need to read the backstory with Naugahyde. It's really cool.
Was he ever in the comics?
I believe so. Yes,
I think so.
I know he's in the Dick cartoons.
Yeah, him and Metalhead was buddies in the cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now is the monkey? The warthog's got very nice articulation.
Mm-hmm.
The monkey is a statue. No articulation.
Monkey is probably the head, from what I can see.
The head and the hands,
maybe the tail. The tail may be too. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the head and tail.
I got to tell you guys, I can't hate this figure because a lot of work went into him. He's a great looking figure. And like I said, she's a warthog and a monkey. I mean,
what has he got? Has he got the Avengers logo on his shoulder there?
No, that's the Apocalypse.
Yeah, Anarchy. Yeah, right. Avengers. Assemble.
As far as I'm concerned, you can take that monkey, wad it up real well, and throw it in the trash. But everything else is perfect.
Right now, you got to figure the monkeys are good at combat. I mean, they know how to fling poo.
Yeah, they are black belts in fling poo. Yeah, absolutely.
They also are amazing at biting.
They were actually in Ninja Force. They were masters of fling poo.
I do wish we had a alternate head for his pig, his warthog, one with his mouth open.
Maybe it opens. There's some kind of gappage there.
Maybe, I hope so. But he is pretty articulated.
I mean, we got the
dust on the warthog. One goes up, one comes down.
The sniper gear is the same. The bow is reused.
Yes.
That sword is new. I have to tell you, looking at that sword, I can see Zanzibar in the future.
Yep. 100%. It has a wrist. It has a wrist clamp too, like the old one did.
Right.
Yeah.
So, overall, it's a 9 for me. Throw the monkey away.
I wonder
maybe. You know what? Maybe you guys. Spoiler alert for Duke issue number 4. Maybe the monkey is Zorana and Major Blood's illegitimate child, which will be in that issue. I assure you. So. Quite possibly, it's more energy on spoilers.
Are we even at 4 yet?
Well, I saw a preview on it. I was watching.
I agree with Johnson.
I'm opposite of Shane there. I like the monkey's my favorite out of the whole set. I mean, come on, it's a monkey with a patch on its eye. How cool is that?
It is pretty cool.
Nice.
And I bet he fits on the warthog's back.
I bet he does that. I bet he does do that.
Oh, you know what? I bet you're right.
Yeah.
If I wanted a monkey,
Nancy's the one that noticed that.
If I wanted a monkey, I'd go buy some Pirates of the Caribbean stuff.
Well, a warthog, you can't really train those, so you got to have a monkey to kind of guide him around.
My trained warthog. Yeah. Who trained it? My monkey.
Joe,
that'd be a Dreadnought thing, wouldn't it?
Joe South, I'm afraid if you play the long game on this guy, you won't be getting him.
Guys, I'm telling you, this whole, I don't believe Hasbro was happy about most of this. The number one brand that they've got money wise got devalued badly because of this clearance stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think production numbers are way down to what they have
It
been.
is.
I wouldn't wait. I think you guys are right. They don't play a long game on these because they're not coming back and they won't be available.
Let's just look at General Hawk line, the General Hawk line.
Yeah.
My store's got one case of them, and that was it. And they're gone.
And they're gone. Right.
And it's clear as can be right now.
Yeah. Snow vipers, eels. I mean, now I think numbers are way down.
Yep.
Yeah. Shoot.
The eels. If you didn't pre-order them, you pretty much didn't get them.
Yeah. They're $50-$60 right now.
Yep.
Anywhere you try to get them.
Yep. So
I would not play the long game on this one at all. See, Corey's got it.
I would bet money, guys. I really genuinely would. That production numbers are way down. Hopefully we'll have some time. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on at Hasbro. But it's I firmly believe production numbers are way down compared to what they were. So
yeah,
I don't sit on the fence with any of these figures because
no, I wouldn't. I would not.
No. Nope.
Because number one, night creepers, they're army builders.
Yep.
And people are going to snatch up as many of them as they can get if they get full shells. They're going to be gone.
Yep.
Yep.
And
they won't last long at all.
This is the last one.
Yes.
The big three, right? I mean, let's face it. The originals.
I only have one word. Yes.
And no, Joe South, I was not aware that there haven't been any of the super cargo ships coming to the United States in 9 months. I'm not surprised. You guys,
not at all.
Us in China, we're not friends anymore. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit because that comes into what was going on with some of the reports from Hasbro. But anyways, thank you for that. I did not know that. No, here he is, right, Storch? Like the figure. I have to be honest with you, though. I had to immediately go back and check that face sculpt just to make sure that they just didn't repackage Naugahyde and Torch heads, but they're not the same. They're different.
No, they're definitely different.
Yeah, so that was cool. The beard is definitely similar, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm. People are complaining because now these glasses are molded on.
Okay.
Well,
I'm good with that.
I am 100% good with that.
I wish buzzers had been molded on.
I wish all of them would have been molded on.
Yep.
But people were griping before because they hated them because they fell off. Now they're griping because they're molded on.
Yeah, I know.
Pick your poison, guys. That's what you got to do. And for me, I love it because I'm tired of picking them up out of the floor every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, this pack says it all.
Yep.
Knox rule.
And thankfully we've actually got, we got a backpack with him, not just,
exactly.
We didn't get the gas cans and with everything else. So this is cool. I like this.
Can you zoom in on his forearms? What is those tattoos on there?
Yes, the flame
tattoos.
Flames or lobster claws. Or something.
Yeah, it's flames.
Oh, flame. Okay.
Which I can do with or without.
He's wearing a Punisher belt buckle.
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost.
But overall, to me, he's a great figure.
Yeah, it looks like him, right? I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with this. Nice flame effects and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, we got some good flame effects, and like you said, I'm glad we got a pack with it.
Yeah. Yep.
Because.
Yeah, it's hard to have a flamethrower without some kind of.
It is, yeah. Yeah, he can have one of those garden sprayers. You got to stop every 20 seconds and pump it back up. But
yeah, the flamethrower is pretty cool too.
Yeah, it looks good. Oh, look at that skull on it with flaming eye sockets.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm thinking that those are detachable also. I'm sure there are detachable effects.
Hey, look, if you're going to violate the Geneva Convention, you better do it in style because it's just
exactly. So
nice.
He is by far my favorite of the ones that were released.
No, Really?
Yep.
That's a shocker.
And
He was always my favorite Dreadnought.
Surprisingly, Naugahyde is not my second favorite. I'm going to go with Doc on my second favorite.
He come along. Doc is a great figure. It's a great character.
And then probably Jinx out of these is going to be third, and then Naugahyde.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a troop builder, so one Night Creeper, maybe two, is going to be plenty for me on that.
I just can't wait to get my hands on Skippy, the illegitimate monkey there, because that's going to be that'll be the winner of this whole wave right there. There he is.
You want two of them? I can make it happen.
Yeah, Skippy, the illegitimate monkey.
He would have really went well with Zanzibar, because Zanzibar looks more like a pirate instead of a Dreadnought.
Right.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, Zanzibar was always a weird character.
Yeah,
to me, but
that's it.
Hey, have anybody noticed Dr. Mindbender? I mean, let's talk about weird. So,
yeah.
Well, I will say this though, Dr. Mindbender. Speaking of Dr. Mindbender, there's his boots right there.
Yes,
talking about reusing stuff.
Yeah,
those are Dr. Mindbender's boots.
Yep.
Dr.
You know what? I don't mind that.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't fault them for reusing stuff because why not?
Well, exactly. I mean, unless we really want to pay $40 a figure.
As collectors, we need to look at it as a business, because they're in the line of making money.
That's right.
And if you can reuse something, do it, man. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Me neither.
Honestly. I mean, if they were still painted exactly the same, then I'd have a problem with it. But
yep.
You see, I have a special nickname for Dr. Mindbender.
Nice.
Monocle.
Mr. Monocle. Skippy.
No.
Skippy.
Mr. Peanut.
Skippy.
I mean, really, when you think about Dr. Mindbender, he was an odd. I mean, his dress attire was very odd for the fact that he was a genius inventor.
S&M dentist. It's just he's a very strange character. Bodybuilding dentist with, I mean, like light years ahead in genetic studies than any other scientist on the planet. Brainwaves. Oh, Dr. Venom did the brainwave scanner, but the master geneticist that was cloning humans from dead tissue, but he dressed like the village people.
He should have had Gimp Vipers for his sidekicks.
All right, we're just sailing along now.
I got every other kind of viper. Why not?
Speaking of Vipers, Crimson Vipers are on sale on Amazon for $12.99 right now.
What's that?
What?
Crimson Vipers are on, Crimson Bats, I think. No Vipers.
Oh, yeah, definitely overproduced on those.
Let me make sure. That's when you're right.
Yeah, definitely.
Crimson Bats are on sale on Amazon, $12.99. Go get them, boys. If you ain't already got them.
Get them.
Speaking of sale and clearance, I got some sale and clearance stuff this week.
Nice.
If you want to see it, I got it right here.
Let's go.
All right. I think somebody posted in the group about the Marvel Legends wave. I did find these at the Gadsden Walmart, $10 a piece.
Cool.
So I picked up Karnak Marvel Boy. Karnak's not really a favorite of mine, but you kind of got to have him to finish the Inhumans. And so I was playing the long game on these. The Marvel Boy's kind of cool too, but these were the only two out of that totally awesome Hulk Build-A-Figure wave that I was really interested in, because the rest of them were basically movie figures, but I needed these for the the comics. And I figured, hey, $10 a piece. I got two of them for $20, which is still below retail for one. So
yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
And then I did finally pick up Fang to help complete Chad, the Build-A-Figure on that. I think he was $17 on Hasbro Pulse. So So he was marked down, and then I got two more of my. I'm almost done with the Indiana Jones. Hasbro Pulse had this set for $20.
Nice.
So I mean, it was regular $49.99. So I
We
went ahead and
should've told
jumped
him
on
that.
it and picked it up. Do what?
You should have let a brother know.
I thought you already had this.
No.
Oh, you don't? Well, they probably still got them on there.
Dang,
They're
John.
like $20.98.
Yeah, they got that new outlet thing on there now. I don't know if you've noticed that, but
Yeah, that's what it said. It said
Yeah.
outlet on it. I
Yeah.
didn't quite get that, but yeah. So I think I'm only missing two Indiana Jones figures now,
I'm so far behind on those.
completing that set. So
that was easy to do because that second wave got a little wonky distribution wise.
yeah, the one I didn't realize there was only 3 waves, but they put out 24 figures. I got 24, not counting the 2 that I'm still missing. So actually, it would have been 26. Did I count the 2? But anyway,
Well, they got several things on the outlet.
I was just happy to actually find something and find it on sale or on clearance.
Marcus
Right
Rhodey
now
and Renee Balrock are still $20.91 in the outlet.
Okay.
Still there.
Hey Shane, they got that 2-pack for $20.91.
Appreciate that, John. Actually, comes from Dave.
I really thought you had all of them. I thought you were done
No,
with the Indiana
I
Jones.
ain't been looking for them lately, so it doesn't matter.
Well, they're all on outlet except for one wave.
They have Ronaldo on outlet.
All of them except for that last wave.
Yep.
With the night and like that. The rest, they're all on outlet.
Miss Shaw's on outlet. Indiana Jones from Cairo.
I did stop by the Wolf Den yesterday. I actually run into Philip while he was there doing some trading, and I picked up another figure that I'd been kind of holding out on. The Marvel Select Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, cool!
This is an amazing figure, and man, is it heavy!
That figure
And
looks.
he also, it is. I mean, it's very heavy. Of course, he's got his hammer, but he also come with the spinning version, so you can put it in your hand like you're spinning it.
Oh, that's cool.
And but yeah, I mean, gosh, it's heavy. And Marvel Selects put out by Diamond, and they put out way fewer number figures than Marvel Legends, obviously.
Yeah.
This big old massive figure, and I don't know. I showed you the Red Hulk that I got from a while back from the Wolf Den over.
Mm-hmm.
Did I show that one night? He's bigger than this figure. The Red Hulk was huge, and all of them are still $30.
Yeah.
Marvel Selects are $29.99.
Yep.
A small, I mean, you're talking about what, $27.99 now on these or something like that. $24.99, $27.99 for. Yeah, it's got a Build-A-Figure piece, maybe, but
yeah, but it just goes to show
I don't
you what
know.
they're paying in licensing.
It does.
Yeah.
But you think Diamond would have to be paying some licensing too, right?
I'm not sure they would. If Marvel's making the money off of them, Diamond's just distributing. I don't know how that works with that one.
I don't know neither. I wonder about that. But I mean, of course, now the articulation's not as great on these as they are the Marvel Legends. But
sure,
again, to me, sometimes too much articulation can be a bad thing.
I agree.
I think it takes away from the look sometimes. It just depends on what character, what figure. But
yeah, right.
This is an awesome figure. I love it. I mean, and like I said, he's heavy. The Hulk's even bigger. That Red Hulk's even bigger and weighs. Right. I guarantee that Red Hulk probably weighs, I don't know, a couple of pounds at least.
Yeah.
But
very cool.
But yeah,
I've always thought he was a goofy character.
He is a goofy character, but
he's a giant judge's hammer. Looks like a horse.
Yeah.
But this version makes him look really, really cool to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the headdress and all that too.
That's very cool.
I did notice the moose was still there.
Yeah, I was gonna go. I was gonna go yesterday, and I got a couple of pieces I was thinking about trading, and then I just flat out decided one of them I was not going to trade. And then I looked up the other one, and it didn't have the value that I actually expected it to. So then I'm going, well, no, because to be honest with you, I don't have the money this month to pay the extra. So I just didn't go. That's it in a nutshell. I still would like to get that moose, but maybe next month, right? I don't know. We'll see.
That's cool. That's cool.
That bear isn't out until what, July or August or something?
Yeah,
it's a while. It's a while away.
Third or fourth quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ways away. So
yeah.
Now I know I never really show stuff off, but I just got this Bowser today.
This thing is actually kind of cool.
So turn off the light. So it has a really cool effect. You fill it with
Hang
water.
on a second. You say turn off the light and then you don't wait. Turn off the light.
So
There.
you fill it with water.
No good. We can still see him.
Yeah, right. Which one's Bowser? Look at that.
We miss.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
That is kind of cool. Here, just keep push the button again. Oh no! Ooh. Look at that.
Oh, that is cool.
Oh wow!
It makes a mist.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And he was
Wow,
only,
we waited out.
it was only $30 at Target.
Nice.
Wow, boy, that messed that computer camera all up, didn't it?
A little bit.
Hey, let's make it worse. Woo! Jeez Louise.
Emmett lit the room up.
Blame it on my head. But wow.
Emmett and Bowser there about blowed the place up.
So, Casper, the red.
I didn't know it would do that. That's pretty cool. I have to admit. You done good on that, Emmeett. That was pretty good.
Is that all it does?
Mr. Pickles.
That
Don't
costs
make-
money. Yeah.
He's Pickle Butt.
Hey, there we go.
Don't make
But
no
that is actually kind of cool. I mean, he's got some articulation. His knees.
14 pieces of articulation.
Points. 14 points of articulation. Not 14 pieces of articulation. It's kind of cool.
It is cool.
So
14 points of articulation.
So there, see, Emmeett doesn't have to do the kid show now because he showed off his entire collection all at once. That's it.
Good job, Emmett.
Hey, do you realize
now I don't have a lot of money.
So 14 points of articulation. That's got 13 points more articulation than your pickle buckets.
That is the truth. Because all the caps come up. Well, no, because the handles come up too. So they actually technically have 3 points of articulation.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna show that in his collection.
Yeah, where's your pickle bucket? That's the other half of your collection.
They're all wet. They're outside.
They're outside soaking to try to get the vinegar stink out of them. So,
Ironically, I have some pickle buckets myself.
do you? From
Yeah.
Firehouse Subs?
Firehouse Subs.
No, that's
I
right.
own them too.
He had to get pickle buckets.
I have the red, I believe mine are.
Yep, his are too. Red with red caps.
No,
They are cheaper than buying
Wait,
5-gallon buckets at Lowe's.
Oh, big time.
much.
Yeah, big time.
Your concrete or whatever you're mixing in it may smell like pickles, but hey, it's cheaper to get the buckets out.
It'd be all right. That'd be all right. I wouldn't mix paint in them or anything. Somebody come into their house going, what?
All of a sudden, I'm craving pickles.
Right. That would be horrible, wouldn't it? Have a pickle smell in the paint that you couldn't get rid of.
It's terrible.
I don't think you'd get paid for that job. Cool. Very nice. Did you pick up anything this week?
I just got
Shane?
one thing I got this week. I didn't get much. I've been looking forward to this one though, and it's just got this from the deep, and it is.
Cool.
Just got it today, and it's really cool. I wanted this one really bad, and then especially when the series come out, I was like, "Yeah, I gotta have it." But me and John was talking before the show. I wished they would do the Joes like this, with the art on the front and
The box, yeah.
And you still got all your art on the sides, everything on the back. It's still really nice. And I was just really excited to get this one. Mike put it back for me, and it's pretty awesome. It's got upcoming figures on the back also available, which we got the Sorceress Tila there,
Mm-hmm.
new Eternia, Man at Arms and Trapjaw, and then you got the motherboard Skeletor.
Cool.
Skeletek.
Whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his nickname.
So here, this is. I didn't participate because I don't want to waste anybody's time. But now the second character in there with Orko, that is the character that was in the movie, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So now the discussion was, does that now make that character, or bigger picture yet, does that make the movie canon?
I think a lot of people wanted to shoot it with a cannon.
Yeah. Just the character, just the character, right? Not the movie. The movie can't be canon and go along with everything else. I think
it's like we were talking the other day. This is a continuation.
Right.
It's continuing past what we know. And people are, they're talking about, oh, it's not He-Man. It's not He-Man. No, it's not, because it's not what we know.
Right.
It's further on in. It's moving forward. It's not going backwards. We're moving forward with what we know about He-Man and the Master of the Universe. I mean, let's think about it. Roboto's dead. Fisto's dead.
Champ's
dead.
Moss Man dead.
King Randor's dead. Moss Man's gone.
Boy, we're just spitting out the spoilers tonight, ain't we?
If they've not watched it since last week, there's a problem.
That's right.
That does make me want to question, though. Roboto was up there in Pre-Eternia with him. How does a robot that doesn't have a soul end up in Pre-Eternia?
He had a heart.
I don't know. Geez, never mind. I'm not going to.
It's sort of like, with Star Wars, it's like the droids are not quite just droids, but they're not human. They're kind of in between.
Sentient. Yeah, they're sentient, but they're not alive. I guess that's the AI question now, isn't it? Right? I mean, just because it's sentient doesn't mean it's right.
They're apparently far enough evolved along to be discriminated against, because when they run them out of the bar, said, "Hey, your kind's not allowed in here."
Exactly.
In the original Star Wars.
Right. In the eternal words of Qui-Gon Jinn, the ability to speak does not make you intelligent, right? So
that was for God,
right? I don't know. Wow. I picked up nothing this week. That's the way it is for now. We went through the beginnings of an oil deal this afternoon because somebody got a hold of my credit card number and tried to use it on a GameStop account. So if any of you have been through that before, my sympathies, because we're about to have a rough week and a half while that all gets sorted out, because just because I'm not particularly happy. So my toy hunting will be at an absolute slam stop for a bit. So that's that.
A month at least.
That will give me some time to maybe stop concerning myself with buying more and more on working on some of the stuff I've got going, which I put my extra Terradrome up for sale yesterday. No one wanted it, so I immediately started on the project that I was going to do with that, and hopefully I'll finish that soon, and I'll show you what the deal is with that. How's that?
Nice.
We'll go that route. So I really like my idea. I think it's going to be really cool.
I have one more figure to show off. I just didn't bring it down here.
Okay. Well, okay. Then you're going to bed.
Shane, did you find the Arctic bat?
No, did not.
They did not. Okay.
That was the second.
I need one.
I don't have an extra one. That was the second post I've seen somebody post in the last week that they were saying, when is this figure coming out? And it was a figure that had been out for months. And it was just like, no, this long game bit doesn't always pay out.
No.
Sometimes it's going to cost you, as a matter of fact, because those suckers came and went fast.
They never hit any stores that I saw.
Oh, no.
So they were...
Well,
they were Amazon exclusive videos, weren't they?
No, they were they were GameStop. They were sold at GameStop also because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Corey found a couple at a GameStop. If I'm not mistaken, he may be he may be watching still and can tell us. He's got the flu tonight, so he's not as active as he typically is.
You
see, because usually if it's any kind of exclusive, it'll be listed under the exclusives on the collections.
Yeah.
Or it'll say exclusive. But
somehow I missed it. I didn't get one somehow. It just slipped right by my mind.
Those I had pre-ordered before I quit pre-ordering so much. I went just strictly maybe they were Amazon exclusives because no, you said he found them at GameStop though, right?
Yeah,
they kind of came and went, and that was the weird thing about those. They just everybody got their hands on them, they were like, "Hey, these are different than the other bats," and it's just like, yeah, they're all gone too.
I had like I said, I had pre-ordered those, but I can't remember where I pre-ordered them from. I think I pre-ordered them from Amazon.
I think I got mine on a Pulse, so
maybe I did get it on Pulse.
Cool. All right, Emmett's going to show one more figure, then he's got to go to bed.
Okay, let me get you on full screen, Emmett. Hang on.
There you go.
Sideshow made a set of figures 22 years ago.
Who was that?
Sideshow.
And it was based on an old sitcom from the 60s. Based
Happy
on
Days.
Hogan's Heroes.
Oh,
I wasn't able to find any of them in stores until we went to Second and Charles close to us. And I waited for a while because it was $100 when I first saw it. Now, this figure is usually in the $200 range. Now, it was $50 and I decided to buy it because I had a little money. So, he was still in box. I took him out of box. So,
pretty cool.
Colonel Clink.
Now he has his riding crop, which is very small.
Mm-hmm.
His hat. And then his overcoat.
Yes.
And I was happy to get that, but now I have to get the other three and
the other two,
and it's going to be hard. Very hard.
Yeah, he discovered Hogan's Heroes on MeTV, and he's pretty well hooked. So, it could be worse, right?
Those are some really great. They're 12-inch, right?
Yeah,
those balls were 12 inches.
Yep, they are.
I'm gonna try.
They're hard to find.
It's the monocle is off right now, but I mean they're really good likenesses. I got to fix his monocle for him before you guys start freaking out about the kid collecting Nazis. It's Hogan's Heroes. Lighten up. So,
Just to make you feel better, as the actors were Jewish. So
yeah, there you go. He's actually done a lot of study on Hogan's Heroes. So, yeah. So no, cool. I mean, it's a good
Hogan's Heroes was a great show.
I studied the back lot. Is now Red Studios in Hollywood, and there's a building over where the old Hogan set used to be that has one thing left from the Hogan set.
Nice.
And it's the tree stump tunnel entrance.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
He does his research.
But if
he's into it.
There's a movie that shows them blowing up the old Hogan set. That was how it ended. 70s, they made a movie about I think a Gestapo officer and blowing up the prison camp.
There you go.
So you see that scene, and boy, this jacket's really hard to put on.
It's warm in here. I don't think he needs it.
Yes, he does.
Those things are really hard to find, and to find one for $50, that's a good deal, man.
Yeah, he did very well. The Sergeant Schultz. If any of you guys ever come across the Schultz, let me know, because they're very expensive.
Yes,
$300, $400.
Yeah, if you guys come across a decent Schultz, let me know, would you?
And it doesn't even have to be in.
There's only three. They did Clink, Schultz, and Hogan. There's only $3, and then that was it. So, sorry, action figures.
Old reference there. People who get
exactly. Exactly.
I've
So
actually never been able to get the overcoat with his jacket on.
that's awesome, buddy. Fantastic. There you go. He's look well-dressed Nazi right
Well,
there.
you can buy the entire set right now for only $500, Emmeett.
I don't have $500.
Hey, free shipping.
Is it tax deductible?
There you go.
That's a
There you go.
plus.
Is it tax deductible?
But
Tax
ironically,
deductible. What you don't file taxes. What do you care if it's tax?
ironically, that is the only set on eBay.
No, they're not. They're rare. They're rare.
It's very
I am going to ask
I
Sideshow
don't know.
finish the set
I don't know.
because they originally wanted like 13 characters, all
I
the
don't know
old
how that
characters
look
from the
on
show.
this tax return.
Yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious.
Let's
That's
see. I see you itemized. You have Nazi dolls, $500 for tax deduction.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
It's partially why they
Yeah.
didn't sell so well.
Consultant fees paid to one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. Excuse me, I had to stand up for a second. I get wicked leg cramps lately.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
A nice picture of his gut.
yeah. Well, good night, Emmeett.
Back to the Arctic Bat is not listed as exclusive on Pulse.
Yeah,
It is sold
I
out, but it's not listed.
I
See how
didn't
the
think-
others? You see how the others show exclusive?
Yeah,
Oh
But it
yeah.
does not say. So it
Yeah.
must be general release, but I've
Yeah, I
never
didn't-
seen them in the stores.
I didn't ever see them either.
No,
And I'm
I
pretty
never did.
sure I ordered the 3 I got from Amazon. I'm
Right.
pretty sure that's where they come from.
Nice.
That
Well-
was the last non-exclusive items I pre-ordered.
They are a hot item right now, though.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so that was a little mini preview of the kids episode, which we're still going to do here right off. So
Right. We got one coming.
yeah, so that'll be cool. What else? What else is pressing? What the heck is going on here, anyways?
Yeah, you know. The destruction and downfall of Hasbro.
Yeah, there's. I've kind of been looking at some write-ups and stuff from the business side of things, staying away from the toy side of things because that gets pretty biased. And if you go into any of the general entertainment sites and start talking about Hasbro, to be frank, it gets very political very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's tons and tons and tons and tons of, well, obvious reasons why Hasbro is having such a hard time, specifically with the Disney licenses. But we don't need to go there, right? We just don't. Let's try to have a conversation about Hasbro, strictly business. And there was some interesting information that came out in some of the trade paperbacks and some of the trade papers over the last couple of weeks. Hasbro is actually we talked briefly about the layoffs just before Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 800 to 900 layoffs late in the year. When, let's not forget, at the very beginning of the same year, right, 2023, there was another 1,100 laid off, right? So Hasbro did what all other companies do. They put the big smiley face on it, reorganization. A lot of this is going to be early retirement or attrition, blah, 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 blah. They sold E1, which was the entertainment side of Hasbro, which means, sadly, one of the reports I read was talking about that any and all new, the G.I. Joe animated project that has been plugged for the last 2 years? Well, 2-3 years since Classified restarted. That's completely and totally on ice. That doesn't really exist anymore. Apparently the AAA video game that was being developed, that's completely on ice now too. That's not happening. as it stands right now, they sold E1 for $300 million. It didn't even make a dent.
It's still been blown through.
It didn't even make a dent in their debt. So here's the deal. And we had that comment, Joe South here, not too long ago, talking about the container ships. No container ships out of China. Hasbro, Mattel, everybody and anybody that's doing business in China has actually tried to shift their production to places like Vietnam. Over the last year, it became very apparent very quickly that Vietnam can't handle the workload. So that is done. The next thing was, believe it or not, they have approached India for production. And India has said, sure, but 2 years to get tooled up, probably another 12 months to get the workforce up and running. So that's really not going to be any big bailout for them to even attempt to shift production to India. And universally, no one wants, they don't mind clothing apparently, but hard products, no one wants anything that comes out of India because the workmanship is absolutely horrible. So,
Mattel Indian shirts to fit me right.
Yeah.
They're always small.
Right. So
China too, though.
Here's the deal. As of this week, it was leaked that Hasbro has put up Dungeons and Dragons for sale. And that there's a Chinese company that wants to buy it, so they're just haggling the numbers. But that's not bailout money either. No. Right? That's get out from underneath money. It's not bailout money. So, in a nutshell, gentlemen and viewers, it really does look like Hasbro's right on the brink of at least Chapter 11, which is bankruptcy to reorganize. You guys have all heard that phrase. Chapter 7 is bankruptcy to liquidate, right? Which means whatever's left, everybody gets a piece of whatever they can muster, and then that's it. That's not, I don't believe that's where Hasbro is headed. To be perfectly honest with you, I think in a strange way, Hasbro has too much debt to go down that road. They're just not going to allow it. A bankruptcy court is not going to let them walk away from $600 million in bad debt. So, we were talking, the three of us were talking the other day when I kind of ran this idea by them, Shane and John and I, about discussing this and not getting into the politics and not getting into the whys, but just the concrete fact that it very much so looks like Hasbro's in a very, very bad way financially.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of played around with the idea of making our own predictions as to which lines are going to have to be cut, because let's face it, lines are going to be cut. There's no way they can continue the production numbers, because one report I read said they can't pay for production at this point in time.
Yep.
So that means production is going to have to stop on some of these lines. So let's talk about that. And then one last thing we'll talk about when we get done with that concerning Hasbro and its future as far as it kind of applies to us. I think it was said last year, and it was said in multiple sources, that G.I. Joe was actually the only profitable brand that Hasbro has. And I think the biggest reason for that is not actually fan enthusiasm, but it's the fact that they own the license. They're not paying huge licensing fees to somebody else to produce these characters. They own them, which means other than their production and design costs, it's 100%, right? It's 100% profit in their pocket.
Yep.
So that actually makes sense. Some of you might say, yeah, Transformers too. Well, I'm not sure how much they still have to pay Takara, if anything at all. But let's face it, the last three Transformers movies have been big bombs as far as the toy aisle goes. And them suckers are expensive. They're hugely expensive to produce.
Yep.
And they're expensive to buy.
Well, you look at a $24.97 Transformer at Walmart's about this big.
Yeah.
That's the price of a classified G.I. Joe.
Right. So,
I mean, and I understand why they're so expensive because there's a lot of engineering that goes behind them.
Oh, huge.
A lot of moving parts.
Oh, big time. Yeah, big time. So, this is what I think. This is what I think we're going to see Hasbro do in the next 12 months. I think Star Wars is going to get cut way, way back to really more of a collector-only brand. And I think you guys understand what I'm saying by that. I don't think you're going to see a huge Star Wars retail presence anymore. I think if Hasbro can, licensing-wise and contract-wise, I think they're going to try to get out from underneath Marvel Legends. That line has run a long time, and I don't collect it, so it's easy for me to say. But I will say, just from an outsider looking in, it looks tired to me. Yeah. It just kind of does. I mean, it's been a fantastic run, but it's looking tired, and I don't think the money is in it for them anymore. I don't think the money's in it for them anymore with Star Wars either. I really don't. I think Power Rangers is probably going to get just about obliterated.
Well, Power Rangers would make sense, because let it go back to Bandai. Was it Bandai?
Bandai, yeah.
Let that go back to Bandai.
Yeah.
You're going to save a ton of money
Yep.
when you let that license go.
Yep.
That's what I was about to say is, we talked about it the other day, and then I got thinking more and more about it, that was one that they could just let go that was doing good before they took over.
Right.
But now that they took over, God, they're not doing great at all.
No, it's not. That's
one obvious to let go.
Right. I think I had to change my mind on this because I read another report on Mattel Friday. Here's what happened with Mattel on Friday. Apparently, they have this group of investors. They call them activist investors, and I'm really not 100% sure on what that means. But they basically sent a letter to Mattel demanding that they stop production and marketing of both American Girl and Fisher Price. And they were told that this investor group is basically politely requesting that Mattel sell both of those off immediately to somebody who might be able to make a profitable run at them, because apparently Mattel can't. So we're thinking Mattel was doing better, but it's very apparent that the Barbie movie propped them up, but that may very well have been an artificial bump, and it may be just about over. So when Fisher Price isn't doing well, I was thinking Hasbro might be able to hang on to Peppa Pig. After reading that article Friday, I'm not even convinced Hasbro should even attempt it. Here's the bad news for us as Joe collectors. I think John has been right all along because he's been saying it for at least the last 18 months. Hasbro is going to put all their eggs in one basket because I don't think they have a choice. Not this time. I don't think they really have much choice. I think they're going to put all their eggs in one basket, and it's going to be the G.I. Joe basket. And they're going to jam us up something terrible with figures and vehicles and whatever they can produce as quickly as they can, because let's face it, It's happened multiple times in the past, and they're looking for the magic. They desperately want G.I. Joe to pull their fat out of the bacon out of the fire.
But the thing with that is, though, you're putting a Band-Aid on it when you do that.
I know.
You're not curing the disease. You're not taking care of the long term.
Nope.
You're just putting a Band-Aid over what you got going on right now.
And
they need more business, more intelligent. Let me put it like this: more intelligent business people in there, because these people, they need to be the first ones to go, not the people out there making these toys and packaging them. They need to be start at the top and come down, because that's where your problems lie. And you just can't put a Band-Aid on and expect it to work. There's no way.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and it is not in it. I'm not going to go into the details. I am going to say this. What Hasbro needs, in my opinion, is that bunch of guys from 1981 that go, I really don't care what the culture is. I think it's important that we set an example, that we do what is best for not only the company, but for the culture. And this is what we're going to do, right? And we get media backing. We get the whole shot, like they did with G.I. Joe. And that's what saved them before, because those guys had courage enough to say, no, you know what? The whole whining about Vietnam thing is just about over, and everybody's done listening to it. So we're going to make soldier toys again. We're going to make military toys. We're going to do something. And you know what? They had to make some compromises. We were joking about Dr. Mindbender and stuff, but you know what? They had to tone it down. It had to have a silly aspect to it just to keep the peace. You know what I'm saying? But they chugged along. Those guys were absolute heroes as far as I'm concerned, because they did what nobody else wanted to do. Now, everybody's going to go, the current culture won't support that. Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. Why don't you quit buying into that garbage? Because there's millions and millions and millions of parents that are sitting out there that would love to have the option, right? And whether you like it or not, parents still dictate how much money gets spent on stuff, whether it's the parent that collects or the parent that's buying for the kid, right?
Right.
The customer base still the same. So those are my predictions, and sadly, I still think Hasbro will probably announce Chapter 11 before the end of this year.
Yep, I think you're right. And they're going to have to cut some lines.
Yeah, there's no way around it.
I'm afraid it's going to shock a lot of people.
That's the new Star Wars line.
Yeah.
They're
I saw the new
going back to the 5 points of articulation.
Saw them today.
I saw the new Hulk figure and the new Avengers
I'll
figure.
back up there, John.
They look like Dollar General figures.
Yep, that's exactly what this looks like.
Yep.
But if you look at the Darth Vader over here on this side, it looks like he only has 5 points of articulation.
He does.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at those Marvel figures, they still have a good bit of articulation to them. But these look like they have very limited articulation.
They do. I looked at them today.
Yeah, very small packaging.
Oh, they're in the store now?
Yeah.
I
haven't seen them in the store.
So I hate to say it, guys. I still, my prediction still remains the same. I think those have probably been in the pipeline for 12 months.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. That is not going to entice kids.
What's the price on them, Shane?
I think they were $15.
Those were $15.
I think so.
Oh yeah, that ain't gonna work. No, I figured $4.98 or something.
It may have been $9.99, and then the deluxe, because they've got Sabine and the Paz, the Mandalorian Paz. They have them in deluxe, and I think they were $15.99 maybe.
See, I thought maybe $4.98 or something to try to get it a lower price that kids would, could buy it.
No, it
or
was
parents would buy it for kids.
I think it was $9.99.
Yeah, if that's what they're going for with that little bit of articulation, yeah, that's not going to work.
Can you?
They're not working.
No, it's not going to work. Shane, can you pull up Timothy's comment, the McFarlane comment?
Yeah.
You want the truth, Timothy? From what I have heard right along, when McFarlane took over and agreed to even negotiate with and let's face it, he doesn't have the DC license. What he has is the DC Direct license, which, like we were talking about Marvel Select earlier. The Todd Father got the whole shooting match from Warner Brothers when he did that, and he had a pretty long list of concessions to basically for Warner Brothers to have to concede to for him to take the line initially. Does that make any sense? It wasn't a regular negotiation. So from what everybody has heard concerning Disney, I don't think the Todd Father will go anywhere near Marvel because I don't think he wants anything to do with Disney.
Yeah.
It's not that it wouldn't be profitable. It's not that he wouldn't make awesome figures. I don't think he wants it. I don't think he wants a thing to do with Disney. No one does anymore, truth be told. But that's, I mean, we'll see, I guess, but I don't know. You guys got any predictions? What do you think?
Was that it, John?
No, that's hold on, let me see if I can pull it back up here. That's it right there.
It's got a blister card.
It's got a blister back in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it, guys. That is not a save our butts product right there.
No.
It's just not. And I don't know what the contract looks like. I don't know if they can actually get out of these contracts without paying a big fine. I just don't know. But they can't continue. They can't continue to produce product that, number one, can't even make it to the shelves, and number two, when it does make it to the shelves, no one wants.
So this is interesting. Those are $9.99 retail, and they're exclusive to Walmart.
Yeah, $9.97 and exclusive to Walmart. Yeah, I found it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's like a kiss of death, isn't it?
Yep. It's the
seriously.
Epic Hero Collection.
And they are just 5 points of articulation.
Yep.
Right.
There's the Mandalorian.
Yep.
He sure did. He did do the Mirrorverse line, but you'll notice that was like the children's, the low end. That was like the kiddie pool of toys. I don't think that those are anywhere near as agenda driven as Marvel and specifically Star Wars are now.
Yeah, that Mirrorverse though, that's like the Disney characters, right?
Yeah,
they're all over Ollie's.
Yeah, they didn't do well.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't do well at all.
No, so I think it was a different license type altogether.
Yeah, because right now they had the genie, the big blue guy from the Monsters movie, and Goofy.
Sully.
Yeah, Sully and Goofy and
Donald.
I
saw the Donalds.
And Jack Sparrow at Ollie's today.
Yes. Yeah. I think. I mean, it's a great point. I think it was. Like I said, I don't think it's even remotely the same branch people he was dealing with or anything else, and I don't think it was a stick contract. That was also supposed to be, if it wasn't, that was supposed to be backed by a video game too, which I don't think happened because I think things have changed pretty drastically. When that first came out, that was supposedly going to be tied to a some type of video game, which I don't think ever happened. So, and I don't think it's going to. So. I don't know. I will say it's a real mess. They're in trouble. Will we get our dragonflies? Absolutely. Those have been in the pipeline for a long time. I mean, that's not going to be an issue. I don't believe for 1 second. So I don't think you need to worry about being a name on a class action lawsuit at any point in time over that.
I don't either.
But the question is, and a lot of this is going to become more and more and more, somewhat more mainstream information as time goes on. Because let's face it, Hasbro's a huge name. It's a household name, even if most of the households don't realize it. What does that? Let's say they come out with a $300 HasLab this year, July or August. How much confidence are you going to have in pre-ordering a $300 item from a company that's is iffy?
My one thing is you'll get it, either your money back or the product, because you're going to get it through a lawsuit either way it goes.
You'll get your money back eventually.
Exactly.
Or you may have to make a settlement. I don't think it would go to that.
It may take a couple of years, but you're going to get it back. And I think they'll do what it takes to stay open and not go that far, if you know what I mean. As far as selling more and more of these licenses, because they're just too deep on too many things right now. Their top sellers was G.I. Joe, Hasbro Gaming, and then Star Wars, correct? That was their top three sellers.
I know D&D is still profitable. That's why it's for sale.
Right.
As short-sighted as that is. That's kind of
D&D they're talking about selling is not the gaming part of it.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, is it the gaming part?
Oh, yeah, the whole
action figure.
Oh no, the whole bit. They're trying to unload the whole thing. That's what's scary about it.
That makes a big difference there, though.
Yeah. The action figure is just a sidebar.
Yeah, they want to move the gaming, and it was profitable, and it has been, and that's why it's for sale, because they can move it. That's like liquidation stuff there. When you start hearing about that kind of thing, here's the problem: Hasbro needs to, oh boy, how can I say this without getting in too deep? Hasbro desperately needs investment, and an awful lot of investment now is like this activist group that's harassing Mattel at this point in time. They invest in companies on an agenda, which, let's face it, if that happens, it will just make the problem worse.
Yeah,
quicker. So, I don't know. I'm no business expert, but I've just been reading this stuff and all these articles on layman's terms because I find it interesting to see. I find it interesting to see any company like this that is so significant to the culture find itself in this kind of mess, because it's really kind of ridiculous. There was absolutely no need of this. It's like Shane said, this is mismanagement, pure and simple. And no matter what the motivation was for that mismanagement, it's still mismanagement, pure and simple. And
it's definitely 100% mismanagement.
Yeah, this whole whining and crying that we've heard for a long time. Kids don't want to buy toys; they want to play video games and everything. You know what? If you'd actually fought for your customer base, right? They never really put up a fight, did they? Seriously,
they didn't. Not at all.
They didn't. Hasbro could have said to Marvel and Star Wars Disney branch or whatever, they could have said, no, you need to produce product that we can make toys off of them that's actually going to excite kids. If you're not going to do that, we're not interested in your license, and moved on, right? Move on.
Right.
Somebody out there, they act like these are the only games in town, and they're not. There are young creators out there that are putting out a lot of stuff. If they had some media backup, we could have a whole new string of heroes. We could have a whole new string of media. We could have all of this stuff. But they've gone along to get along, and it's mismanagement. It's just mismanagement. They should have fought hard for these characters and these licenses, and they should have fought hard for the integrity of those brands, I guess is the word I'm looking for, because most of these brands have no integrity anymore. They just don't.
Well,
I will say Joe's hanging in there. Let's face it. I mean, we're doing good, right?
But it's because of the adult collector.
They are wise enough to know that children are not buying classified figures.
I mean, they put the video game out. Let's look at it this way. Put the video game out. Huge flop.
Yep. Deservedly so.
It was just a few months, and that was $19. That game was $19, and it was terrible.
Yep. It was an app, is what it was.
First of all, that tells you there kids didn't enjoy it. Kids didn't like it.
Nope.
Most people that bought it anyway were adult people that loved G.I. Joe.
Oh, we bought it because we were excited and expected something different.
Then you go and you don't put something to back your product out, such as a cartoon or a good movie. You don't do that.
Right.
I mean, who is making the business decisions is my question. Because obviously they got to look and see that what his decisions are is not right now.
You know what's missing? You know what's missing is that creative spark. Because you remember they used to create. They pulled these characters out of a hat. Let's face it. They created these characters and then they sold them to the public. Right? That's what happened. Yep. That's what George Lucas did. That's what the guys at Hasbro when they created, G.I. Joe, and that's what guys at Mattel did when they did Masters of the Universe, and that's what Peter and Eastman and Liard did with Ninja Turtles. They created something and then they sold it. These guys just want to sit around and not create and not sell it at the same time. They just want to produce and expect everybody to beat their door down. Nah, man, this stuff needs to be created and it needs to be sold. They don't sell nothing anymore. They're just producers. And that's a sad thing. Sell it. Sell it. Don't turn it into an agenda. Sell it. And this stuff is not sold anymore. Not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before when I was in there and the sheriff's department had all the kids from the Boys and Girls Clubs in a toy aisle. I told you this story.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The guy that was our age, the deputy says, "Oh, look at this. It's G.I. Joe." And he picked up a classified figure. And the kid goes, "Who's G.I. Joe?" And just kept right on walking. And he rolled his eyes at me and I said, "Buddy, I get it." And he goes, he wants to go look at phones. He wants to go look at phones. Well, guess what? They've been sold. Phones.
Mm-hmm.
What matters to them? Phones.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could run Hasbro for a week.
The last before Classified come out was Renegades, correct? G.I. Joe Renegade.
Yep.
What did they do with that brand first?
Put it on TV on the hub.
Right. They had one full season of that cartoon before they started making figures.
Yep.
And made those figures and they flew off the shelves.
They sold it, man.
One right after another.
They created it and then they sold it.
Kids were buying them.
Yep.
Because they saw it, they liked it, they enjoyed it.
Yep.
If they would do that right now with Classified, kids would buy them. They would get back into it. And it would carry on later than when we're dead.
It's got to be sold. It's got to be sold. It's got to be sold. Stop taking no for an answer and stop kowtowing to these people that think kids only want apps. I don't believe that.
Yep.
These kids are on YouTube. They're on YouTube as much as they are playing app games. Right? How about a YouTube series?
Right.
And that you say that because back at the HasCon in 2017, when we were talking to Alan Hassenfeld, and he said because at that time they had just a little booth with a few G.I. Joe artifacts, some costumes and all from the movies, some prototype figures from the old vintage, and that was it because G.I. Joe had, other than the few figures that the Fun Publications were putting out through the Collectors Club, the line was dead.
Yeah.
And he said they were looking at some way to get G.I. Joe back out there. And he specifically mentioned, he said, everybody's watching YouTube now. Yep. That's when YouTube was really starting to really pick up steam. And they were looking, at what to do to get it out there. And I think that's the hardest part about it, is getting it out there. Well, because like I said, you have so many different streaming services and nobody has them all now.
Right.
So half you people may have the streaming service that's on, the other half not. And you still, it ain't like when we were kids, you had 3 networks and that was it. And you had a VCR and you record one while you watch another.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. But that's right. You know what? Don't go anywhere near the streaming services, though. You know what? Every one of these kids there's 2 things that are in common, and I know one of them would be controversial, but there's 2 that are in common. That's YouTube and that's TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They all have those.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You got to get smart about it. This stuff has got to be sold.
Yep.
It's got to be sold.
Yep.
And I don't believe for a second that kids just don't anymore. So I gave up. Nah, get real.
Mm-mm.
Get real. Let's face it. In the late 50s, there were no action figures, right? The 12-inch G.I. Joe was the first one that was ever created.
Mhm.
Kids had skateboards, slingshots, BB guns, and bicycles, right?
Yep.
How did toys even become a thing when they hadn't even been a thing? That was sold.
Yep.
You can do the same thing again. I don't care if it's all, I'm telling you right now, but they don't want to for some reason. They just don't want to. They want to produce and make money and call it good and have a built-in market. And that's failed. That business plan has failed epically.
Terribly for them.
And you know, like in the 60s, when there was no cartoon or anything with it that launched the 12-inch G.I. Joe, but there were advertisements. They were on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Put advertisements on YouTube. Lord knows there's plenty. I mean, you can't watch a video without having to watch an advertisement first.
Now, I know a lot of people say, they changed the laws in the 80s and they made fun of Transformers and G.I. Joe. They're the 30-minute toy commercial. Whatever. You know what? The federal government had no business getting involved with that, and they got around it anyways. G.I. Joe's on. They're not allowed to advertise G.I. Joe toys during the cartoon.
Yeah.
Fine. It's like John said, just advertise them.
Yeah.
Right? No, well, don't bother.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, the cartoon was the advertisement.
Exactly. Yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. And I personally, I don't even know why they thought that was such an evil, horrible, dastardly thing to do. Made perfect sense to me.
And speaking of which, have y'all read Duke #2 yet?
No, I don't even have it. But don't worry about it.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just saying, when you read the letter by the editor at the end of the book, he makes some good points.
Cool.
But
basically,
spoiler alert, so close your ears if you want to. He basically said, so in Duke #2, they introduced one of the vintage vehicles. And he makes a point that there will be more vintage vehicles introduced in the series. They're putting in things that people are familiar with. Yeah. But my thing, you hear a lot of people talk about the movies. They say, well, the Transformers movie, the soldiers in the Transformers movie, that was G.I. Joe more than G.I. Joe was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But what made G.I. Joe so special was they all had their own unique attire.
Yep.
You had Bazooka with his jersey. You had them. If they would apply that to the movies, the new comic series is doing really well. Looks like it's doing really well. It's not canon to the Marvel comics, so everybody's make it canon. It's not canon to Marvel comics. It's doing really well. You can go in different directions with a story in a movie, but make the characters recognizable.
Right.
Yeah, once again, Duke is moving forward.
Right.
Kind of with the Masters of the Universe Revelations, it's moving forward past what we know.
Yeah.
Right.
But
you can still recognize him as
exactly.
You can still recognize the other characters as the characters they are.
Mm-hmm.
Make them recognizable. When you give them totally different looks, or they're dressed just the same as all the rest of the guys, they don't stand out.
Right.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, this is why I have not gotten into and won't ever get into the Valaverse stuff, because they're like the McFarlane military figures that they made for a long time. Oh, there's a Marine. Oh, there's an airman. Oh, there's a sailor. It's pretty much generic. They don't really have any, to me, they don't have the same character. They don't have the same individualism. They don't have any of that stuff, They don't have file cards that were written by somebody that actually cared.
Yeah.
Right?
And
you see what I'm saying by that?
I was saying that's what I was saying about this wolf spider. I was not very impressed with the figure because he looked just like a random Valaverse figure.
Yeah.
He didn't look like there was nothing about him that made him stand out like the rest of the.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Not for me.
I mean, the outfit, like Dr. Mindbender, it may be goofy, but it stands out. If you see Dr. Mindbender, you know, hey, that's Dr. Mindbender.
Yeah, and 40 years later, you know what? You can walk into a bar full of 40-somethings. 40-something. You could walk in on Super Bowl Sunday with a Mindbender figure in it, and every one of those guys is going to know who that is.
Yeah.
Right? So we go, oh, that's goofy, that's stupid, and they make the jokes and everything else. But, man, it was sold, wasn't it? Yeah. Right? Because every one of those guys in there that grew up during that time, you know exactly who that is.
Just like Rise of Cobra, they had Dr. Mindbender in the bunker, in the flashback. He looked nothing like Dr. Mindbender. He looked like a dude in a lab coat.
Yep.
And that was it. Nothing made him stand out.
It was an Easter egg. That's it.
Yeah. That's what they get. If they want a movie to be successful, the story, of course, has got to be good, but you got to make the characters stand out so you know who they are just by appearance. You don't have to hear them called by name. When you see them, you know, hey, that's Duke, or that's, Alpine, or that's Bazooka, or whoever.
As bad as it was, the first G.I. Joe movie, right? As bad as it was, let's do this. Let's prove John's point. And everybody can think about this for a minute. I'm going to add 4 characters, right? And they're going to behave the way they did in the comic, right? I'm going to put Alpine and Bazooka, and I'm going to put Leatherneck and Wetsuit. I'm going to add 4 characters that don't change another thing about that story, but just throw those guys in there and have them behave the way they did and have the personalities they did on the cartoon. Score.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Score.
No,
score. Because Snake Eyes is just being Snake Eyes, right? Let's face it, Duke was kind of being Duke. Ripcord was way out of place, but who cares? Right? If that's how he's going to be now, whatever. You put Leatherneck and Wetsuit rolling around in the background because they're fighting over the Marines Navy stuff. And Alpine and Bazooka are doing their thing.
Let me throw this to you. Okay. So it was not G.I. Joe, a real American hero. They were international. Because these movies are going to be showed overseas.
Yep.
Go back to the real American hero. So you got, because Breaker, would you have known that was Breaker?
No,
it was French. He wasn't from Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Moroccan, yeah. No.
Put Breaker, a guy with a southern accent and a beard, in there as Breaker. Then you can get a guy that looks like Gung Ho, but throw a red vest on him and call him Gaucho from Action Force. Well, there you go. You got your international, but you got characters that people in Europe's going to recognize. Right. You got characters that people in the U.S. and let them work together on a joint mission or something.
See, but that's the idiocy. They make movies for the Chinese audience, not the American audience.
Yeah.
They don't want to offend anybody. Well,
here's the thing. When we were kids and we were buying G.I. Joe, watching G.I. Joe, they were still from all over the world, right? We still had people from all over the world. People in France, Great Britain, China, Germany, everywhere was still buying G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
Right.
This we're going to make everything equal is a bunch of crap.
Right. Well, see, that's
the same thing sold when we were kids to Chinese, Japanese, it did not matter.
No.
They loved it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do the same now. It doesn't matter. This whole we're going to include everyone is a bunch of crap. It's
this idea
that way.
Let's face it, G.I. Joe was all about American exceptionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's a bad word. That's a dirty word now. You know what? I'm not convinced that the rest of the world thinks it's a dirty word anymore or not. But you know what? It really doesn't matter. Why are we insisting on marketing everything to the rest of the world? Why don't we just market it to America? We don't need the Chinese market. They want it, but they don't need it. Build it, and sell it. There's tons of kids here in the United States that need heroes and they need role models. and they need things to aspire to. How many guys do you know that went into the service because of G.I. Joe? How many of them became cops? Firefighters, had an actual desire to serve their country, to serve civically. Tons, millions. Before that, our superheroes were in a lot of ways, were our moral compass for the young. You know what I'm saying? There was right and there was wrong, and it was flashy and goofy and silly and sci-fi, but you know what? Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, they kept generations of this country going. It's just not that's changed, and somebody needs to come and be in charge of these companies with some guts and just go, no, you know what? If we're going to be a cultural company, we're going to be about the culture, right? And no more of this nonsense about, people are going to boycott us online, or they're going to have the bots spam our email saying we're not going to buy your product. They were buying your product to begin with. That's been proven over and over and over again. All this fake outrage is just fake. You kowtowing to all the wrong people. Why don't you have a social conscience and do something about it and sell good product at the same time?
Right.
And that's the end of my rant on Hasbro. But you guys keep your eyes on that. And I really strongly suggest you start looking at like Forbes, Insider Daily, other business papers that are writing articles on these toy companies pretty frequently, because I tell you what, guys, there's a whole lot of stuff going on right now and none of it's good. So that's that. 2 hours and 26 seconds. That's probably enough for this week, ain't it?
Oh, yep, I believe so.
Did our timekeeper go to sleep?
Yeah, she's done going to bed. She's
Our
done retired.
Our official timekeeper went to bed and we went over. See?
It got 9 o'clock. She said, I'm done, and she left.
So, I don't know.
She's in there watching YouTube videos right now and stuff.
Yeah, she's watching old G.I. Joe reruns on YouTube. Yep. Well, another week, another bunch of stuff, right?
Another good job, guys. Another good job.
So, I'm tired this week. You guys tired this week?
Yes, sir.
Hadn't even started it. I'm tired this week. That's not a good sign. So, we'll do something next week.
We always come up with something.
We'll see. If anything gets announced, you'll know it, right?
Yep.
Yep. Well, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.